Unsyndicated presents Off the Air with Sean Baligian.
Off my chest right now, Blake, because even you're doing it right now. And I have to teach you, young Jedi. I do, or you're going to have a very, very short and miserable life. Okay? And I probably said this to you before, but I'm going to say it to you again right now. How are you, by the way?
I'm great. I feel like we haven't talked in so long. You had a busy week.
Did. Yeah. My voice is fine, too. I thought, like, it was a little scratchy last night after, like, the fourth game in, like, 24 hours. But then it was like, meh, I'm fine, you know? So let me get this off my chest right now. This has been a pet peeve of mine amongst college football fans for a long, long time. Okay? Stick with me.
Mm-hmm. I'm tweeting out the show. I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, so it's
we're doing
funny.
the same thing.
Yeah, so here's the angle. Here's the angle right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've said this to you before. There is nothing good that can come from these games. Nothing. Yeah. There, like, really, I want you, like, let's be logical about this. There are three possible outcomes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You blow a Fresno State or Florida Atlantic out. And what are people going to say?
You did what you were supposed to do.
Right. You want a medal? You know, and then the trolls, the trolls start trolling. No big deal. The second reaction or possible outcome is you squeak by. A less than stellar victory. Ooh. I know if I'm hot take guy, what I should be doing is I should be going, all right, I want to hear from Michigan fans tonight. How worried are you guys about the season? That's why Blake and I are here. So hopefully you can join us tonight. What did you see that really has you worried? Okay. And then, of course, the last possible outcome is, God forbid, a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you know, it's all over. The program's over. You may as well go full SMU and shut her down. You like, honestly, you may as well go full SMU and shut her down. All right. Now, because I know where you're going. I know. You got your hand up. I know where you're going. All right. Unless you are a complete and utter slapdick, which you are not. I'm giving you credit.
Thank you. I
Unless
appreciate
you were a complete and utter slapdick, you knew that the 2024 Michigan Wolverines were a far, far cry from the 2023 Michigan Wolverines, correct? Far, far cry.
Offensively, 1,000%.
I'm talking about team. I'm talking about goals. I'm talking about win totals. I'm talking about I'm talking about all that shit.
Yes. Jar.
Vic said there's no way Blake gets that SMU reference.
Yes, I do.
Oh, yes, he does.
If it's a college football reference, I get it. Death penalty. Thank you.
That's my guy. That's why I can make the reference to a guy like that, because I know he gets it. Okay.
If it was a movie reference, no chance. But I get college football references.
So Blake, let me ask you a question. I'm asking you honestly, and then I'm going to talk to the Spartan fans as well.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see tonight out of this game against Fresno State that you didn't already know? Do you want me to go down the checklist? You ready? You don't know who your quarterback is. We already knew that. Questions about the offensive line. We already knew that. Can Donovan Edwards stay healthy? We already knew that. This a pretty damn good defense. We already knew that. This game, and somebody made the comment, well, no, we have no chance of beating Texas next week. And it was like, time out, Sugar Plum. Regardless of what happened tonight, That's not going to affect your chances against Texas. I thought that was a loss anyway. We'll wait and see. Texas has been known to gag a little bit. There's something in the water down there, okay? So, Blake, that's why now, sorry to what did you learn about the Michigan Wolverines tonight that you did not already know?
They have a kicker that can bomb 50-yarders. Didn't know that.
That's actually a positive, so that's a good thing, right?
I think like there was not that there was questions about the DNs, but I wasn't sure about the depth at the end. There's not really a single piece of the defense I'm worried about. The defensive front is still so physical, and I love the linebacker play. How does Michigan start a former walk-on at quarterback? That I understand. Like, we already knew this question, but how does Michigan not have a quarterback? How does a program like Michigan not have a quarterback? It does not make any sense to me whatsoever.
No. I listen, I don't know. That was one of my bits, and you guys can Jason said, how about them Ducks? Yes, the Vandals giving them all they can handle. That was one of my longtime bits about Michigan, and in particular, a lot of Michigan fans, and I can tell you definitively some members of the Michigan media. It was always the tall tales about the next guy. That bit went on for 15 years.
Yeah.
It was always the next guy. Always. It was wait till you see this guy's arms. I mean, I can go down the list. Guys talking up Wilson Spate, for goodness sake. Our boy who went to Tennessee. I mean, all these. Shea Patterson was going to win 2 Heismans, okay? And
I mean, it was literally happening in this game. They were saying the coaches told them that Warren has the same abilities as J.J. McCarthy. He just has to develop more.
Shut the all right. And
they
so,
said that.
And this, I know. Hardly the first time Michigan played at the opponent's level. The overreaction early on is, I'm sorry, it is one of the most mind-boggling. Honestly, I ask myself, are you new to this college football thing? Are you? No, maybe. Yeah. Especially the big game coming up. But we can talk all we want about kids not looking ahead. Don't think for a second every one of those kids don't know that highly ranked Texas is coming to town next week. Okay? Knock it off. Survive in advance. You did what you had to do. And listen, that doesn't mean that there aren't questions, but in all likelihood, the questions were already there. And as Jeremiah said, hey, listen, you know what the flip side is? We were all, as Spartan fans, excited about Childs. This kid that needs a hell of a lot of seasoning. And speaking of offensive line woes, and I tried to tell so many people on this very show, Blake, a lot of my Spartan friends that wanted to start to get carried away about what could be in the crazy month of August, I'm terrified of that offensive line. And I saw a lot of those issues, but win. That's just win the game. Nobody is going to give you roses for these games. Nobody. In case you're just joining us, I'm sorry. I will repeat it. If you beat the shit out of somebody, swear jar. If you beat the crap out of somebody, they're going to say you were supposed to. If you just win, they're going to say, ooh, are you worried? Hot take time. How badly is Texas going to knock off Michigan? And if you lose, you may as well close up shop. Your program's over. I'm sorry. It's a terrible bit. I remember going through this in 2013, Blake. Sorry to go on the history machine, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners will remember this. I remember going through this in 2013, and Coach D'Antonio was notorious for slow playing early on. He was. And they had a crap performance against Western. And then Jack and I were there for, I'm not joking, one of the worst college football games I've ever seen, where they beat USF 21-6. It was awful, terrible. Didn't do anything offensively, nothing. Okay. Number one, a lot of teams aren't going to, pull out any gadget or anything like that. You're just not going to see a lot. Okay. And number two, just find a way to win the game and move on. I think that worked out really well for the 2013 Spartans. And I had even people that I respect, like real good, logical sports fans and media members going, okay, for a guy that always tries to be fair, you're really showing your bias. How'd that turn out? They went 13-1. They beat everybody in the Big Ten by double digits that year. Like, shut up with that stuff. And as I said, Blake, the flip side to that is if they turn around and lose next week to Texas, and I think you and I both think that they will. I don't want to put words in your mouth. What happened tonight has nothing to do with that. Relax.
Yeah. If we're just being honest, though, I'm more worried about I didn't think Michigan was beating Texas before this game. I've been saying it all summer, but now I'm more worried about that game. Genuinely. Did you see what
Giles looked like Forrest Gump throwing the football?
He looked bad, man.
I think I told you I caught the last few minutes of it last night. And I got up early this morning and watched it. But but I'm going to say the only thing that changed with that was, okay, this kid's clearly not ready. I'm not throwing in the towel on him. Not at all. But clearly he's not ready. There's some work that needs to be done and everything. But I didn't change anything about the season. I don't think they're a very good team. I don't think that they have a lot of depth. I think the schedule is so light that shame on them if they don't go 6-6. I mean that. Shame on them. Shame on them. But now if they lost last night, that's different because all of a sudden you're going, all right, I don't know where the road to 6 wins is. And the same thing with Michigan tonight. You lose, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm not so sure about 9-3. But I think that goes with the trend tonight, and that's why I wrote "wah" under my name. All these people.
There's going to be week one overreactions 100%. But I had to talk like 3 of my good Michigan friends off the ledge tonight. Like they texted me.
I love doing this. Are you watching your TV? You see what happened? Sorry to interrupt you.
You might be ahead because I'm streaming it on my iPad.
Okay. Yeah, I am ahead.
Did Notre Dame just score?
No. Fish Finder, this is not all Michigan and Michigan State. You're 100% false. We're going to start with Michigan and Michigan State because the Michigan State game just ended, or the Michigan game just ended. But yeah, trust me. If you're still there, trust me when I say that, Fish Finder. This is not all Michigan State. And I know he made a comment about Penn State. I'm going to tell you point blank, I don't think you're any good. I know it was a good win today. I don't think you're any good, but I'd be drop dead stunned with your schedule if you don't get at least 10 wins.
They have very good running backs.
I think your coach is one of the most overrated coaches, I don't want to say ever, in the last 20 years. Every year. I mean, you tell me you're a Penn State fan. I don't have anything against Penn State. I think the hype of Penn State drives me out of my mind. Coach Franklin is every year I watch him lose games. No, it's all good. It's all good, bud. Don't worry about it. I hope I didn't come across as being a jerk there. I was just saying,
you are a jerk, but that wasn't one of the.
That wasn't a jerky thing. But I think with your schedule, all jokes aside, I don't think you're all that. But we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I'd be surprised if Penn State didn't get in the playoff. I think they're going to be a 10-2 team. My buddy Paige said Franklin is a clown. I think most Penn State fans, Fish Finder, you speak up. I think most Penn State fans would say that he's a clown.
Are we sure he's even a Penn State fan?
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. My bad, bro.
I'm really upset about this Notre Dame game right now because I have Texas A&M minus 2.5. So I don't want this to go in overtime. for over under reasons. So we got to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
not a lot of great games today. Not a lot of great games today.
the Vandy Virginia Tech game was awesome.
Awesome. You and I were talking about that.
Awesome.
I got stuck watching that, and I'm like, this is a damn good game. Good for the cute little Commodores. I pinch your little cheek pulling off that win.
It started the day on the third screen, and it like slowly just kept shifting. And at the end of the game, I had it on the main. I was like,
yeah,
this is great football. I had to watch it.
Chris brought up the Canes look like a contender. I'm telling you, I said this 2 months ago to you, Blake. You're going to have to get my back just in case people don't remember. I think the Miami Hurricanes are going to play the role of Florida State this year. I really do. And you can make every Mario Cristobal joke you want. Go right ahead. I think they're going to play the role of the 2024 Florida State Seminoles. And they're going to roll through a less than ACC. And they are, unlike the 2023 Florida State Seminoles, they're going to punch your ticket into the NC2A playoff with the expansion. I honestly think that. I don't know. Now I have to, here I'm patting myself on the back for some things that maybe early on are looking good. You and I had this discussion last week, and you said to me, do you think that Florida can salvage the season and maybe he can salvage his job? The answer to that is no. And I said yes a week
The team
ago.
is bad.
And
then you got players
bad.
going on Instagram posting F this team. Like they're bad.
Yeah.
They're in a bad spot, and it's not going to get much better.
Yeah. A female fish finder. Okay, I got you. All right, there you go. Matt, Miami's going undefeated. The ACC is a dumpster fire. Matt, honestly, I said that to Blake like last month. I think their quarterback's got a really good chance at a Heisman Trophy. I mean that, like in all sincerity, and I think that with that schedule, let's see what Louisville has. With that schedule, I think they're going to cruise, and then all we're going to hear is about the U being back and all that. I mean, I don't know how good they are. I really don't. I have no idea. And certainly Mario Cristobal is a guy that has had his Franklin moments. Blake, you and I were talking about that.
No, he'll Franklin a game at some point.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go undefeated because he will have a Georgia Tech game again this year, and it could be against Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Like he will screw up a game. He's not a good coach.
See,
he gets great talent.
No, but that's the beauty of this scenario, and something that we all have to like get used to in our brains. If you lose a game like that in the past, it could be a dagger. Franklin. He could legitimately Franklin lose one other game and be sitting there in the Big Ten going, wait a second, everybody's talking about Ohio State, everybody's talking about Oregon. What about us? We're 10-2. Michigan's 9-3 and lost to 3 of the big boys. We only lost to 1 of the big boys. Because those are the arguments we're all going to hear, whether we like it or not. That's kind of the way it's going to go. So, for me, this is going to be intriguing in that regard.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought Clemson would have a chance in the ACC. Klubnik is so bad.
Can I here? And I don't want to like completely let them off the hook. Okay. But didn't we all know Georgia was going to be absolutely loaded this year too? So what maybe just maybe devil's advocate here. Maybe part of that is Georgia's that good too. Maybe. No, maybe.
Clemson's defense played very well in the first half, which I was kind of surprised by. I thought it would be a higher scoring game and Georgia would win. But that was, they just were so much more physical than them. It was insane.
Yeah, Ray said best part of the day was seeing Clemson getting its doors blown off today. Matt said, Blake, all I will say is K9 made Tucker look like a good coach and Ward might be that good. Matt, I like the Canes. I've been talking up the Canes for a while, just under the radar. I don't know how good they are nationally. I'm I'm not saying that they're going to go give Georgia or Bama a run for their money, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, that not to like jump around, but you brought up Bama. That I don't care. I know we're not gonna overreact to week 1. That was a hell of a performance, though. Dude. I know it was against Western Kentucky and everything, but offensively, I think the DeBoer system might work.
They are literally still one of the poster children for reload. I mean, like I think in recent years, I'm talking like the last decade, right? I think you could set your watch to it. You've got Bama, you've got Georgia, you got Ohio State. You had Clemson for a while, and as Clemson kind of fell off, Michigan came back up. They just reload. And, the difference with Michigan is obviously they didn't do it with all the look at all our 4s and 5s and even magical 6 stars. They did it differently, but places like that, dude, they just like Blake, they just reload. Really, that's what it comes down to. They just reload. All right, we'll check back in with Blake in a second. Oh,
I'm here. Okay. I hit my camera, the USB port, with my foot. So,
Ray said if Oregon plays the way it did today, they will lose to Boise State next week. I'm going to say the same thing about Oregon that I said about Michigan to start, and I said about Michigan State to start, and at least I've been consistent with this message. The overreaction early in the year. I'm sorry, I don't put anything into it. I just don't. I've seen it way too many times, man. Way too many times.
Just quickly, because Boise was brought up. Did you see what their running back did today?
No.
He had 6 touchdowns, I'm pretty sure.
Did he really?
Yeah. There was a point where they were up. They had scored like 42, and he scored every single touchdown. It was insane. He was their entire offense.
That's one of those places I've always wanted to know. Milky Waters in Ann Arbor. Nope, they never got that 6-star. They never got that 6-star. Did you see that interception? I tweeted it out, by the way. That kid from Robert Morris, the one-handed interception against Utah State.
No, I did not see that.
Dude, look that up.
I will go to your Twitter. I'm just looking up the stat line real quick.
Look that up. Tim said Miami is definitely going to be a case of, are they that good or are their opponents that bad? I think that's a fair statement. That's what I said, like literally before week 1 to Blake last year. We were on the radio and I said, listen to me, if they beat LSU, they might be able to walk to the Final Four. And I contend had their quarterback they couldn't have kept them out if the starting quarterback stays in. They couldn't have. There's no possible way they could have. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Matt said on a lighter note, did you see the video of Saban looking at McAfee like he was a jackass for dancing on the set? Priceless. Looks like Saban wants to quit. That was a great video. And then he even did the side eye. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Tim, like Frank Broyles used to say, they don't rebuild, they reload. Absolutely. I mean, Georgia, Bama, everybody knew if there was when I say this, I don't want one Michigan fan to think that I'm trying to take anything away from them. Please be an adult. Everybody knew if there was a year in this 4 or 5 year span to get Georgia, it was last year. That was the year because you looked and, oh gosh, you're going to be right back at it in 24. And obviously Bama got him. And we know how that turned out. But Bama's the same way. I get it. Listen, I don't think people talk enough about what Nick Saban did. I'm serious. I don't think there's enough credit that goes to Nick Saban. But with that being said, the program's a program now, right? I mean, you keep rolling in the guys like they keep rolling in, man, and they get any kind of coach. Milky Waters even chimed in.
No, he's in the chat.
Thanks, Milk. Thanks, Milk.
By the way, he had so it's Ashton Genty, I believe it's pronounced. 20 carries for 267. He averaged 13.4 yards a carry, and he had 6 touchdowns. And they won 56-45.
Jeez, oh Pete.
It's insane. There's guys that go a whole season without 6 touchdowns.
Just showing the ND schedule, they are going undefeated. Well, you know what? I go back to our fake who's your college playoff thing going to be, Blake. And that was one of the things we talked about. We were like, Notre Dame's getting in. You better set your watch to it. So that's one less pick. You know, you've got your champions. Then you've got your, okay, who doesn't win it between Bama and Georgia? They're in. Who doesn't win it between Ohio State and Oregon? They're in. The winner of Texas, Michigan is in a driver's seat that the other one clearly is not. They're in the passenger seat. And then you have to remember they're going to grab that ACC team. They're going to grab ND. They're going to grab that Big 12 team, and they're going to grab the Liberty Flames. That's
by the way, I've
there's the
changed my
playoff.
tune. I've changed my tune. Liberty's not getting in.
Who do you got?
Memphis.
I won't argue that too much.
I've just Liberty has to play App State, and if Liberty doesn't go undefeated, they're not getting in. They have to go undefeated.
Little buddy, my old buddy Ryan said, "Go Irish." Jason said, "Was it better than Woodson versus Sparty interception?" Tim said, "Nothing touches Woodson's." You guys watch, seriously. You guys watch and let me know. Like I'm not overstating this. Like every time I watch that replay of Woodson going up to get that interception, I don't expect him to catch it. Even though I know he's going to catch it, I don't expect him to catch it. Blake, I want you. Okay,
I'm watching it right now.
What this guy did is, while he didn't get the inhuman height that Woodson got, he got height. He got it with one arm while his body was backwards.
It was like the Odell catch.
That's insane.
But it was like it's very similar to the Odell catch, but it's like more height. He was higher up. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean,
it's sick. It's sick. So,
by the way, okay. So does Notre Dame?
I'm not going to pick there because both of them are kind of like freaking natures type of thing. So I'll let you decide, boys.
Does Notre Dame get in at 10-2? Because I don't think so with this schedule.
Boy, that's a good question.
Like we can't overhype. Like we're overhyping a win against Texas A&M. It's Texas A&M.
Sure.
Like, yes, it's a great win on the road at Kyle Field. I get it.
I think the on the road thing.
But like they still have Florida State and they still
I don't know. It depends. It depends. I'm gonna be really interested to see how Florida State bounces back. I'm gonna be really interested. I mean, a game that they should win, make no mistake about that, but I'm going to be really interested to see how they bounce back. If they're 10-2, all right, I'm going to use your guys as an example. If they're 10-2, pick two losses. Pick any two losses. I mean, as long as there's not a shit show in there. Pick two losses off their schedule. And then you have a 9-3 Michigan with losses to Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas. I think they'll take Notre Dame. I do. If all things are considered equal, maybe they're both sitting at 10-2. No way. No. Well, Michigan's not even in that conversation at that point in time. Like in my mind, you win one of those three games. If you're Michigan, you're punched your ticket. Like, honestly, I think
I agree.
10-2 with losses to Ohio State and Oregon, for example, you're in. I mean, just tip your cap and say, yeah, we're going back again, right? Damn it.
Yeah.
More jar.
They're not.
Matt said, really cool you guys are doing this, by the way. It's going to be therapeutic for me. No, dude, are you kidding me? Like, this is the beauty of this. Is like, we're all up doing the same thing right now. Like, the only thing for me, I got to be honest with you, I've said this for years. If you listen to me on the radio, I hate doing stuff while games are on. Yes. I do. I hate it. Like, I can't wait to go to my couch and watch Washington. I'm not going to lie.
Why in Wyoming?
Big Ten after dark. I love the Big Ten after dark. I love the Big Ten.
What I just with this schedule, I don't understand. Like, if they have two losses, I don't think they're getting it. I don't get it. I don't get the Notre Dame thing. I've never gotten it. Every time they go to we've seen it too many times in modern football. They go to the national championship and just get train wrecked. They go to the playoff, get train wrecked. It like why are we still doing this? They're not a good team. I don't get it. I
No,
don't get the Notre Dame thing.
They're good, but they're not great.
They're not a national power anymore.
Not anymore. They haven't been for a long time. I used to get their back though, because I always found it funny. A lot of Michigan and Michigan State fans would kind of piss on them and say, "Ha ha, you got motorboated by Alabama." Well, two things. Number one, so would your team, okay, except for last year, obviously. So would your team. And number two, there are 126 teams in the nation that would want to be where Notre Dame was. So in that regard, I always got Notre Dame's back, but. You got to remember, depending on how old you are, Notre Dame was the measuring stick for so long, they were. And even when I was a kid, when they, I was 19 when they won the Natty. And then, boy, a couple times there afterwards, they were really close. Some of those Lou Holtz teams were really, really good. And then, obviously after Lou left, the huge fall off. The greatest thing to me was the Charlie Weiss hype. That was just point blank funny. It just was. Brady Quinn and Charlie Weiss. I mean, seriously, if you go back,
Jimmy Clausen,
like Charlie Weiss's greatest win was a loss. It really was. It was, golly gee, they sure put up a great fight. It was an instant classic when we lost to USC, and it was like
the Bush push game, right?
Yeah. Really? You're trying to put that on a pedestal? Is that what the bleep we're doing here? Andrew said ND will get in with 2 losses. I'm with you. I think they will. It's Notre Dame. Whether you like it or not is inconsequential. Honestly, it's Notre Dame. Do you know what? I will apply the same thing to Notre Dame that I just applied to you. Honestly, I will. If Michigan beats Texas and loses to Oregon and Ohio State, they're in. They're in. And if Notre Dame loses, and while there isn't an Oregon and Ohio State on there, if they lose to 2 of the better opponents on their schedule,
they legitimately, genuinely, because I just looked at this guy. They have 2 games left. It's Florida State and it's USC.
Right.
Like, that's it.
Yeah. This is why nerds like you and I do this, because so people aren't like taken with their pants off. Miami's the same way. Miami should roll the rest of the way. They really should. I'm going to say it again. Penn State, like them or not, and we can all make our jokes about James Franklin. Guys, take a second look at their schedule. Their schedule is dog poo-poo. I'm not throwing anything in the jar.
You already did 3 times.
I know.
Yeah, legitimately, though, Miami's schedule is tougher than Notre Dame's. Like, because now I'm looking at Miami's. Like, Miami has a chance to lose 3 games.
To who? But pull up their schedule right now.
I'm looking at it right now. So they have Florida A&M next week. That's a dub. Then they have Ball State. That's a dub. Then they go to South Florida. That's a dub. Virginia Tech. That's probably a dub.
Okay.
At Cal. At Louisville is a tough spot.
I mentioned that one earlier.
But that's after a bye week, so that helps. But then after Louisville, the next week they have Florida State.
Stop it. They're crap.
That would be the most Cristobal thing.
It's a rivalry game.
That too.
Anything can happen in a rivalry game.
Cristobal.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that crap? People were talking that crap last year. Do you remember that during Michigan week?
Yeah.
With all the distractions and everything can happen in a rivalry game. And I'm going, oh my gosh.
49-0.
Like, stop it.
They still got Georgia Tech. That's the only other game. They still got Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech.
Okay. I got one. I got one at most. Honestly,
I'm saying those are 3 losable games.
All right. Let's pretend they lose 2. They're in.
Yeah, as long as they win the ACC. I don't think the ACC is getting 2 teams in.
I bet you they do. I'll bet you they do. No, I want you.
Show bet. show
whether
that.
you okay, now take emotion out of it. I'm going to ask you to take emotion out of it, okay?
Okay.
What do you think the powers that be in the ACC would say and do, and the stink they would create if we decided to play the time-honored, well, I think this team is better than that team game? You know, the thing that we all hated? Because you're going to hear a whole shitload of that, crap load of that
Todd missed the jar.
towards the end of this year. You are. Gosh, damn it. Whether you want to admit it or not, you're going to hear a whole crap. Damn it, I can say damn it. No, I can say damn it. So, listen. What do you think would happen if they decide to play the time-honored, well, this team is better because I think they're better game? And after Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State get in, then there's Iowa. Let's not forget about Iowa. And I'm not trying to be funny here. You brought it to my attention. I blame you. You're the one that said, look at Iowa's schedule.
Yeah,
Okay?
they're going 10-2.
Like, then what? Then what?
And they scored 40 today.
They scored 40.
That's unheard of.
Matt
because
said
their
not to
coach
change
was
the subject, but do you see the temperature getting lowered with Michigan State and Michigan with new head coaches in both places? I think so. I'm not being funny. And Andrew, you know, I've called out both fan bases for many years, okay? I remember 2012 in particular, they both lost their collective minds. And whether people want to give me credit for it or not is inconsequential. I said one of them's going 8-4, the other one's going 7-5, and the difference will be who wins head to head. And Michigan won that game 12-10 at Michigan Stadium. I think that both fan bases are in a more realistic place right now than I can ever remember. I'm serious. I'm serious. I think most Michigan fans, like we talked about earlier, Blake, I think most Michigan fans are kind of in the same boat you are. We're still pretty good. We're not go win a natty good. We're not even go win a Big Ten good, but we're still pretty good. Hope to get in the playoffs. That'd be pretty cool. And I think most Michigan State fans are, we're not very good, but man, that schedule is cake, and we should go to some crap bowl game. I think that's a consensus that I'm hearing. And I even had a guy, and I'm not going to mention any names, who said to me last night, okay, crazy month got to me a little bit as a Spartan fan. Now that I've watched them, 6-6. So I in my mind, Blake, unless you're hearing differently, I think the temperature has come down a lot. I really do.
I think that there's more pressure on Sherrone Moore than there is on John, whatever.
Of course.
I think just because of where the programs are at.
Of course. Yes.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, like if Michigan goes like 8-4, 7-5, he won't be back next year.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I love what our buddy Rich Lazinski said. I love the jar. You've been able to say damn it since 1939 after that one dude said it and Gone with the Wind. This is a great, great show. Thank you. Don't you remember? Was it Captain Rhett Butler? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Yeah, I'm talking to a guy that doesn't watch movies.
Haven't seen it. Probably should.
Yeah. Oh, no. That's not fair.
Todd's getting a little outlandish with the jar.
So no. Now hear me out. I got way off.
I went to say John L. Smith. Yes.
Listen,
Jonathan Smith. Can I just say something real quick? Anything that comes out of my mouth that I've been watching college football for 12 hours. I haven't moved. So my brain is a little foggy.
Is there a problem with that?
You guys say things.
All right. So hear me out. Okay. Let's play this game of pretend. Ohio State is in, right? You agree with me?
Mm-hmm.
Oregon is in, right? You agree with me?
Mm-hmm.
What about Penn State?
I don't know. Okay.
What about Iowa? What if Iowa goes 11-1? What if
they're 11-1? Yes. If they go to the Big Ten championship game, yeah.
Penn State and Iowa are 10-2, 11-1. There's 4. There's,
Yeah.
I mean, there's
But
four right there.
that's why I'm saying I don't think the ACC is getting 2 teams in.
But hold on. Now, what if cute little Louisville, who both you and I think they're kind of flying under the radar. I brought it up a couple times, okay? What if cute little Louisville decides to mix in a 10-2?
Yeah.
What if Georgia Tech, what we saw in week 1, was kind of the sign of things to come, and they mix in a 10-2? Are you gonna tell me that the committee's gonna have the balls to sit back and say, yeah, we're gonna let Iowa, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, and Michigan, because they're Michigan and they're the defending national champion, in, and we're only gonna take 11-1.
Do you want me to give you my tinfoil hat
Yes.
explanation? They don't want multiple ACC teams in because they want Clemson and Florida State to leave the ACC.
Okay.
So that they can get closer to their 2 super leagues.
Then if that's the case, if that's your tinfoil, then that might be the elixir to do it.
I'm just saying that's my tin. But
listen, and I think you and I both agreed. I could be wrong. A couple months ago, we were talking about this. What about the Iowa States of the world? Or even the brand? Let's say Oklahoma's better than anybody thought. Oklahoma State's better than anybody thought. Excuse me. Okay? And then Iowa State puts together a cute year, right? Mm-hmm. So when I hear these people saying, oh, I think 5 Big Ten teams are going in, I don't mean any disrespect. I think you're okay, I'm going to call my shot. Swear jar. I think you're batshit crazy.
By the way, I think the whole Big 12 is going 6-3. The entire league.
Yeah.
So they're getting 1 team, and that's it. The entire league's going 6-3.
Yeah. No, Jason said, call me a bad Michigan fan, but I think best case scenario is they go 9-3. I'm hearing that from most Michigan fans. I am. Because normally if I said 9-3, a lot of Michigan fans would want to crucify me. And I'm not getting that this year. I'm not getting that this year.
I still think they can go 10-2.
Well, if what I think Andrew said, I still think they have some major offensive line problems. If that's the case, a team like Michigan, they could exploit that. And that could be a huge dagger, obviously. And then you could torment them again if that's the case.
I'm not afraid of Will Howard. And I'm not afraid of that offensive line.
Okay.
So.
No, it'll be.
I don't think Ohio State's beating Oregon, by the way. I genuinely don't. On the road at Oregon, I don't think so.
I can see it. We'll see. But
I think it's also week 1, so I have to overreact to everything. That's my job.
Now, while we're having all these conversations, it's funny. There's one conference that we forgot to mention. So strange. Only the best conference out there. And they still are. Don't be a slapdick. They still are. Okay. I know you know that, but some of the guys in here who maybe would argue with me 10 years ago, I don't hear too many of those arguments anymore. Georgia, Bama, right? Texas, right? Ole Mills. They'd love nothing more than to get Ole Mills in there because my man has been scamming people since forever. Tennessee. Now,
that team.
So listen to me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So educated college fans are having conversations like this all over the nation right now. Okay. And the people in here, we're having educated. We just named 5 Big Ten teams and 5 SEC teams.
Yeah. That math doesn't math.
Don't add up, my friends.
That math does not math.
Don't add up.
But that's also why I don't think Notre Dame's going to end up getting in if they go 10-2. If they go 11-1, I understand they're in no matter what.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to pick teams that are in conferences over Notre Dame at this point.
Let me ask you this. Andrew said, sorry to blow up the chat. Dude, we're just having a conversation. Don't worry about it. Come in with whatever you want. Michigan fans think Edwards RB1. He is, or he has and will never be RB1. He is a sidekick, change of pace back.
I agree with that.
He can't stay healthy. That's one thing.
It's just his running style is it's all he has to hit a big play. He's not a every down type back. Khalil Mullings played well tonight. Like, I was happy with how he ran the ball. But
look at Paige, one of my favorite interns in the history of interns. Nico for Heisman. That's it. It's a long shot, but listen, how cute would that be, right? How cute would that be?
He's so good.
But do people, now that we take our step back, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Here we just talked out pretty much the whole landscape. All right. They're gonna find somebody from the Big 12. Set your watch to it. It might be one. I have a feeling it'll be two. They're gonna find somebody from the ACC. It's gonna be one. I have a feeling they'll make it two. The numbers don't add up. They don't. You got your at large. You get in the playoff. It's not like Oprah, man. You go 9-3, you're in. You go 9-3, you're in. And you've got Notre Dame, who again, Blake, if they go 10-2, we can doubt it all we want. Just remember, I told you, don't be surprised when Notre Dame makes it. Just don't be. Don't be.
I'm gonna be so mad. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be mad. And the worst part is somehow Notre Dame will get the 5 seed and they'll play Liberty or Memphis or whoever hell the else is the 12 seed, and then they'll make it the next round.
If I don't have anything going on that weekend, I'm going to a game. Like, seriously. Now, I might have a hockey broadcast. I might, be up at state. I might have a high school hockey game. I might, if I don't have anything, I'll find a way to go to one of those, on-site places. I will. I don't, anywhere in the vicinity. I just want to go. Like, I think that'll be such a cool, obviously it'd be great if it was around here, but if I have an opportunity somewhere within driving distance. Now, I don't think I'm going to drive what was it? Gosh, 14 hours? Was it 14 straight hours to get to Ole Mills? I don't remember. I'm not going to say I'm going to do something like that to go see Lane Kiffin play, but yeah, dude, are you kidding me? I'm fired up to do that. Andrew said, "Hi, boys, go color that rhymes with glue." You guys know I can't say that. I can wish you all the best, but I can't say that. Come on, you know that. It's like you saying go green. It's not coming out of your pie hole.
Can't read, can't write.
I would disrespect, like, seriously, I'd disrespect you, Blake, if you said it.
I would never say it.
Right.
Oh, for a large sum of money.
It would have to be a significant amount of money.
That would probably be less significant for me where I'm at in my life, but yeah, it would be significant.
Notre Dame won't get in with 2 losses unless there are a bunch of 3-loss big name teams. That's, Chad, I think that's the scenario that you have to worry about.
Well, the thing is okay, so Georgia, as good as they are, they're not going undefeated, in my opinion. I don't think anyone from the SEC is going undefeated.
If I had to pick anybody, I'd pick Georgia. I would. And I say that with respect again to Alabama.
Nobody clip this. If I was going to say any team was going undefeated, it'd be Ohio State. Georgia's schedule is insane.
Yeah.
Don't put that up. Don't do that, Todd. That was a very vulnerable moment for me.
A lot of guys saying it's nice to have a kicker. Yeah, that's a positive that you took out of it. Just win the gosh damn game. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of people making a big deal about this. Oh, you worried about it? Ugh. Michigan's a good team. You aren't a great team this year. Sorry. But you knew that already. You knew it. Come on, you knew it. You got a chance to get better. You got a chance to get in, even at 9-3. 10-2, yeah, you're in. You're in. I think there's an upside chance at 9-3. The thing that I would worry about is if you lose to Texas, and Texas goes 9-3 in the SEC, because you guys know the conversation as well as I do. All right, 9-3 Texas or 9-3 Michigan. Didn't Texas go to Ann Arbor and beat Michigan? Oh, yeah, good point. Bye. Yep. See ya. We have been bull crapping for so long.
You haven't even done a read yet.
Not one.
We're 50 minutes in.
Thank God Todd's here, right? Hi, Todd. I didn't even realize Todd was into like 30 minutes after he was in. Such a self-centered ass. All right, when it's time, let's talk about Lindsey Broadwell. When it's time to get yourself a house, whether you're buying, selling, or both, you need to contact the right agent. You know who I recommend? That lady right there, Lindsey Broadwell. Your house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make, and that's why you need a pro. Lindsey grew up on the mean streets of Northville and has expanded her team all over Southeast Michigan. She's an expert in all facets of business. When it's time to move, our friend Lindsey and her team will make sure you get the most out of your house and everything goes smoothly when finding your new home. Buyer, seller, even first-time buyer. Make sure you contact Lindsey at BroadwellHomes.com. She'll help you with everything from start to close. Licensed realtor at Real Broker LLC. Start your search today at BroadwellHomes.com. Blake, I'm going to say it again, especially after today. I will never, ever understand, and I'm going to talk to some people that I know and beg them next year to load up the day before Labor Day with college football. I don't get it. I don't. NCAA has a chance to absolutely own this weekend. There's no NFL going on. None. Why not fire a bunch of these games on tomorrow? Blake, help me understand this. Why? I don't.
mean, they did it last year. There was 3 games. I don't know why they didn't do it this year.
Like, I'm happy I get to watch USC and LSU. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong. But put on a game at 12. Put on a game at 3. Just do 3. And you know what? You can make them. You don't even have to make them like giant, massive games, right? You don't even have to do that. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I'm excited. USC, LSU tomorrow, Boston College, Florida State on Monday. Florida State start out 0-2?
No.
They're not losing to BC. That's not.
Do they cover?
Carson Beck or Shedeur Sanders is the number 1 pick.
That's a serious question. I don't think he's joking.
You don't think
Carson Beck?
Yeah, no, Matt, you don't think Shedeur Sanders, do you?
Okay. How much of the Colorado game did you catch?
I caught a good portion of it.
Their receivers are awesome.
Yeah.
He's good.
He's good. He's a good quarterback.
That is the most undisciplined team I've ever seen in my life. Like, and the media spin on Dion is always, like it's all the show, but he's actually a hard-nosed coach behind the scenes. Like, he's an old school guy. Like, if he's such an old school guy, why is his kid like he had legitimately had 5 late hits in that game?
Right.
It was insane.
Kevin said, "Can you get a Go Broncos?" Yes, I love that. I've said this before. I know I've told you Waldo is a great venue. Like when the train comes by and everything, I have fond memories of going to Waldo and calling games there. I do. I was there 95, 97, and 99 when I was working for Toledo. I have fond memories there. They played well for a while. Wisconsin pulls away, wins that one, 28-14? 28-14?
24-14, I believe.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Is Lindsey going to be paying you with quarters? I think so. Matt said exactly. Blake can sling it through, man. JJ went in the top 10 and threw 9 passes a game. He's a good quarterback.
He'll be Shedeur will be a first round pick.
Yeah. Oh, listen.
You know where I can tell you right now, this is an off the air exclusive. I can tell you exactly which team will draft Shedeur in the top 10.
Who?
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, born to be.
Tell me he's not a Raider.
Born to be a Raider. Born to be a Raider.
It's the perfect fit.
Now you guys don't forget who you're talking to. I'm the guy that told you, whether you like him or not, it was inconsequential that JJ McCarthy not only was a first round pick, he was going to be a top 10 pick. If you guys haven't figured out the premium that teams put on quarterbacks now, you're not paying attention. So a good quarterback.
Bo Nix was a first round pick.
Right. And I think Shedeur's a good quarterback. I do. I Top of the heap quarterback? Absolutely not. But, no doubt about it, he's going first round. My goodness gracious.
Travis Hunter is awesome, though.
Yes.
I'll watch Colorado games and try to ignore the blatant just love for him, for that team on broadcast, because that was one of the most biased broadcasts I think I've ever watched. Genuinely, it was horrible. I had to turn it off of my main screen just because the audio was so bad. But Travis Hunter makes me want to watch that team. He's that good.
You've got to remember that this is a thing. If he has any kind of success, whether we want to admit it or not, with all the hype sells. It just does. If he has any kind of success, woe be to all of us. If he's getting this hype for next to nothing, what's going to happen if they start winning games? Like, seriously. Ay.
I don't think he's back next year, if we're being honest.
It would be a complete backtrack from what he's been saying, but.
Yeah, but with his kid leaving, the writing's on the wall. He hasn't recruited high school players at all. He just goes into the portal, tries to get talent around his son, and doesn't worry about recruiting high school players. And if he recruits them, it's all off of him saying, "I'm Deion Sanders." Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So it'll to me, it's when you're talking about quarterbacks, you just I try to tell people, I have this conversation every year for years. Guys, quarterbacks are just going to go earlier than you think. No, regardless what, now, I don't think anybody thought Connor Cook was going to go in the first round, to use an example. He's, a perfect example of guy was a college quarterback and a damn good college quarterback. But I remember I was doing a draft show with Shep in 2011 and Christian Ponder. And Christian Ponder was crap. He really was.
He wasn't even good at Florida State. Yeah.
Christian Ponder was going in the first round. And to the surprise of nobody, he went in the first round,
Was EJ Manuel a first round pick too?
I believe I'm going to double check that, but I believe he was.
And he was worse than Christian Ponder.
Boy, some of those FSU quarterbacks for a while, it was, the hype machine, the next great one. Dude, the funny thing is EJ Manuel's only 34 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He works for the ACC network.
He was 16th overall.
Yeah. What team drafted him?
No Casey Weldon. Wasn't it the Bills? Hold on.
I know he was on.
It was the Bills. It was the Bills. Yeah. Remember Casey Weldon? I'm showing my age there. Good night, gents. Godspeed. Nice to chat with you, Matt. Thanks for jumping in. ND is too cowardly to join a conference. It's laughable. For years, I thought it was going to happen. And if you remember, their AD at the time, Jack Swarbrick, even said, we're coming to grips with the fact that we might have to do it. I'm paraphrasing, but I remember this is maybe 2012, 2013. I saw him say that in an interview. If you're Notre Dame right now, why would you?
The way the playoffs set up, they're not anytime.
Why would you? I'm with you, Bill. I hope I'm with you. But the system is towards them,
Yeah, it works out. They're going to get a home playoff game. So that's an instant sellout, instant cash in their pocket. And like I said, it'll probably be more years than not, they will get that 5 seed. And they will get the group of 5 team that makes the playoff. So it's not a bye. It's a much easier road than, all the second fiddle Big Ten and SEC and ACC and Big 12 teams get. They're in a great spot, unfortunately.
It is, as Andrew said, I never thought I would see a coach who dominated like Swinney get passed by being stubborn. It is amazing to me how a guy that was so different when he took over in 2008, right? He was so different. And I think that's what made him successful. How he turned into an old man in his time on his watch. Like, really, like at some point in time, you have to go, okay, this isn't working. Okay, I did it for 2 years. It's not working. I have to embrace this. I do. It's really weird. I don't get it. Rhino said U of M and MSU should never schedule ND. Tell them to pound sand. Somebody said check out. Andrew said Notre Dame's going to make the playoffs every year. Blake, honestly, this system is literally pointed at Notre Dame. Do the I don't want to say the bare minimum. That's disrespectful.
Schedule 3 good games. Doesn't even have to be great. One great game, that was A&M, which if that's a great game, whatever. And win 10 of them, 11 of them, and you'll get it.
Somebody said, look at Nebraska's schedule. And that is, again, this goes back to see Iowa, see Penn State, see Iowa State, see Nebraska. There's a list
Rutgers.
of like, seriously, are you ready for this? Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, at Purdue, hosting Rutgers, at Indiana, at Ohio State. Thanks for playing. UCLA in Lincoln, at USC, hosting Wisconsin, at Iowa.
They'll be undefeated going into the Ohio State game.
But I want you to think about this. Could you imagine 1-loss Iowa hosting, say, 1-loss Nebraska that last game of the year? I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. But
I don't think so either, but that's so gross.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bill said it's crazy until their weak-ass schedule costs Notre Dame a playoff. You know, this is what I'll say about Notre Dame, though, because, like, honestly, you know as well as I do what they'll say, right? They'll say, we went and played A&M, man.
Yeah, we went on the road to an SEC team. We went on the road.
We played A&M. What
else do you want from me?
Yeah, like seriously. I'll look at the rest of the way. Louisville's not bad. Georgia Tech, Florida State, name only. Again, if week 1 has any indication, Florida State sucks. And at USC. I better do another read. But
yeah, you better. I was trying to tell you that.
You yell at me.
The Saturday night wrap-up pods are going. Todd, I'm saying this to you, and I'm saying this to all the listeners. These are going to be long ones.
Yeah,
strap in, everybody.
Let's talk about the Handsome Brothers. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? Look no further than the Wealth Advantage Group, located in historic downtown Northville and owned by the Handsome Brothers. Right there. That's Mike on the left, Jeff on the right. With over 20 years of industry experience, they understand that your financial goals are as unique as you are. That's why they offer personalized expert guidance to help you navigate the complexities of financial planning. Now, whether you're saving for retirement, getting ready to sell your company, perhaps you're already in retirement, doesn't matter. They can help guide you through every step of your financial journey. They work with clients throughout all stages of life. They have clients in over 20 states. Look, the investment world is complex, so if you're ready to start taking your finances more seriously, it might be time to work with an expert. Reach out to the Wealth Advantage Group at 248-773-8574 or view their website at www.thewealthadv.com. And as Jason brought up, you know, a team like Notre Dame, you can get as high as 5. And are you kidding me? Another game and like South Bend, Indiana, right? Hosting a playoff game. I would be there. I'm telling you, if I couldn't get there as a fan, I would drive there as a member of the media just to say I was there. That would be so stinking cool. It would be absurd. I honestly, I wouldn't even be able to breathe. Iowa at least has the best tradition with the wave at the Children's Hospital, and I'll die on that hill. Kinnick's a really cool place. Kinnick's a really cool place. It's just kind of a cool vibe. Chad, they need to be holding a roll of foil in that pic to really be the Hanson brothers. Handsome. Handsome. Handsome.
So
They could be the handsome.
how much of Texas and Tennessee did you watch today?
Not much.
Okay.
It was, to be honest with you, Blake, like we were talking about earlier, I got really sucked into. I texted you, in fact. Hey, we were all in a group text, and I was like, hey, this Vandy game might be the best game of the day.
Yeah.
I kind of check out for things like that. Like, what am I going to take out of Colorado State? What am I going to take out of Rams? What am I going to take out of, Chattanooga? Sorry.
I had it on, when Penn State, West Virginia went to that crazy weather delay, I was like, I just want to watch it. I put the third screen on a team that I'm interested in, but the third screen is just like, I'm going to check in during commercial breaks.
Right.
And I just put on the Tennessee game because I was like, I want to see what this offense looks like. And it's like I talked with you and Shep the other day. Like, that offense is such a cheat code. It's insane.
Yep.
Like, the way that they scheme dudes just wide open, it was nuts, man. Like, and their quarterback, Nico, I can't pronounce his last name. What is it?
Yeah,
I'm Aleva.
The Nico for Heisman campaign is firing up.
He played a half and he had 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah.
That game was interesting to like watch what their offense was doing. And then Texas, I had to pay attention to because I knew Arch Manning was going in. And, you got to see what Arch does. And he had a sick touchdown.
Look what Rhino said. After watching Michigan tonight, I think they lose the big 3 games +1, maybe SC.
We got CSC.
I got to see SC,
first.
and we'll get a chance to do that. But I have him, Rhino, for what it's worth. I have him at 3, and I'm not budging off it. I have him at 9-3. I think that keeps him on the outside looking in. I'm not completely ruling it out, though. I'm not. But I think 9-3 might not be good enough. It might not be good enough. And I think a lot of it comes down to who they lose to. Because Texas is going to lose multiple games in the SEC. And then we have to play, if all things are considered equal, and you're in a position against 9-3 Texas, well, then you understand how that works. All right, can we talk about legacy? I want to go watch. I hate this routine of like trying to look at you and listen to you and looking at the TV to see what's going on. Did you know that thousands of Metro Detroiters have already called Legacy Partners to get help with their home and auto insurance? Our friends at Legacy are one of Southeast Michigan's top independent insurance agents and provide a full-service, one-stop solution for all of your insurance needs, personal and business, large and small. Legacy has helped our listeners by fixing mistakes other agents have made, asking the right questions to get the right coverage put in place to properly protect you and, help you save some money at the same time. Chances are, if you haven't checked your policies in the last year, you're probably paying too much and you could be underinsured. What are you waiting for? Give Legacy Partners a chance to help with your home, your cars, life insurance, Medicare enrollment, your business insurance needs. They help my family. They will help your family as well because they treat you like family. Call them today, 586-209-4106. That's 586-209-4106, or visit legacypartners.com to get started with your new quotes. Bill said Michigan versus Texas prediction. I said Texas. I'm sticking with it. I said Texas. Tonight has nothing to do with it. My opinion on Michigan didn't change one iota tonight. I think this is a weird year. Like last year, all the people, for years, people said, oh, Michigan's back. Michigan's back. Michigan's back. And then they won a couple Big Tens, and then we know what happened last year. I think a lot of the people raises their hand that have been poking fun at Texas and Miami. I think Miami in particular, because of their schedule. I think a lot of people are going to have to swallow their tongue this year.
The Texas is back thing ended last year. I think you make the playoff.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I just looked. The spread's 5.5 right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, and I would
go on. Say it.
I think Texas is going to win that game. I really do. Yeah. I've been saying this. I think that there's only 3 teams in the country that offensively can block Michigan consistently. And those 3 teams are Georgia, Oregon, and Texas. Michigan plays 2 of them. So
I'm a little agitated. I didn't watch any Oregon tonight just to do it because I think they're going to be really good. I think where you and I differ is you think Oregon has a better chance out of the Big Ten. I think Ohio State has the better chance. We'll see.
Yeah,
but I think they're the top 2.
I agree.
Tim said if they lose to USC, they don't deserve to get in. I agree with you. I think it'll be a tough pill to swallow for Michigan fans if they go 9-3 and don't get in. I do. Todd said, in my opinion,
Depends on who gets in.
OSU, if they drop one to an inferior opponent, it puts Michigan in play.
I don't think they're losing to an inferior opponent, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think so this year. Jason said Shauner is on the autistic spectrum, and I'll die on that hill too. I probably am.
Got a touch of the tism.
Yeah, well, it's that Rain Man crap. Say a year I can tell you who won championships and stuff. I don't have any problem with it. Bill said that Sparty game was ugly. Horrible. And sorry, I don't change my tune. I feel the exact same way about the game tonight and the game last night. Win the damn game. There's nothing good that can come out of those games.
I tried to get the Ohio State game to stop when Akron was up 3-0. I tried.
He sent me
put all my effort into that. Stop the count.
Yeah,
stop the steal.
He sent me a text and I was like, Blake, take it. And he was like, I'll take the over. The funny thing is they would have covered the spread though, right? It was 48. I think it was 48, wasn't it?
I took them.
You took Ohio State? Did you realize? I'm sorry. Was it 48?
Yeah, I think they covered.
No, it was 52-6.
No, was it?
Yeah, it was 52.
Now I gotta look at my bets. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, it was 52-6. 52-6. Will you be doing this show around the same time most weeks? I'm enjoying it. Yes. This is going to be like our set. Now, Blake, there are a couple nights that I'm coming home late from doing broadcasts because I do college football broadcasts. So I'll let you know ahead of time, but most weeks will be here like this because they're guys just like you and I that are sitting here watching. I'm not even close to being done tonight. Are you kidding me? I'm not even close to being done.
I'm literally watching Arizona is losing to New Mexico right now.
Yeah.
By 7. I got that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had Ohio State in a parlay and the spread was 48. So yeah, they did not cover.
Yeah. Now, well, you know
what?
Real
shame. Good teams win, great teams cover. Michigan didn't cover tonight
either. You're such a jerk. That's good. Todd said, how many goals did Guy Lafleur score in his last? With the Habs, I know his last full season, he had 30. And then he retired at the beginning of the next season or shortly into the next season. He just up and retired. And then when he came back, he had the year with the Rangers and then with Quebec. I know he had 30 in his last full year with the Habs. Somebody can fact check me. Gosh damn it.
While you're
14,
talking about hockey,
14 goals. That's my guess. 14 goals his last season with Quebec.
While you're talking about hockey, I'll because somebody brought it up earlier in the chat. The whole Johnny Gaudreau story, legitimately brought me to tears.
It's atrocious.
Did you ever have any interaction with him at all?
No, never did. No, he really was one of those guys that you heard nothing but good things about, and I think thus the nickname. He just
Johnny Hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Hold on a second. Now I have to fact check myself. Damn it. Hold on. Just talk amongst yourselves. I was right. His last full season with the Habs, he had 30 goals. Then he retired at the beginning of the 84-85 season. He had 19 games in. And then he played with Rangers, Quebec. That last year was 90. He had 12 goals. So, whatever. Yeah, so what? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Just like hurts your soul. I mean, Their sisters getting married the next day.
Yeah,
Like
I can't even
I-
imagine. Don't drive drunk.
no.
Like legitimately, like Ubers are so cheap, Lyfts are so cheap.
Can I be serious with you? And I don't say this proudly. I do not say this proudly. I am so happy that your generation and my kids' generation is a hell of a lot smarter than my generation was. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Nowadays,
thank-
though, it's
thank God-
like you have to try to drive drunk.
Thank God Mothers Against Drunk Driving came around when I was a kid, because I think any person my age has to be honest when you're having this conversation. My generation jumped in the car all the time. All the time. I'm not proud of it at all. My generation jumped in the car all the time. And then sometime, I want to say in the 90s is when it started to change. And now your generation, Blake, and certainly my kids' generation are just adamantly against it. You know, when the kids had their graduation parties, in particular Jack's, because he's got a bunch of booze friends. I'm not being disrespectful when I say that. We had a crap load of kids spend the night. There's only one kid that I had to like say, look, you have two choices. Stay here, or I'm going to call your mom and dad and say that you're inebriated and you have to be picked up. And they were like, I'm going to spend the night, Mr. Baligian. And I was like, that's a really good decision. I'm glad to hear you say that. It is just sad. It's just absolutely, it's sad. Tim said, I haven't driven drunk in a good 20 years, and that was within the subdivision about a half mile. Tim, I think it's funny when people in my generation try to say that they didn't. We all did. My group of friends did. I don't say that proudly because nobody talked about it. It wasn't a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And so that's one good advancement we've made as a society, to be sure. Boy, it just breaks your heart, man. Just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So can I talk about the our last friend, and then we can get out of here, Blake, because I gotta go watch hockey now. All About Catering. Are you familiar with their work? You should familiarize yourself with their work. All About Catering LLC is a full-service caterer, graduations, weddings, bridal showers, corporate events. How about just football watching? Anything you need catering for, from 25 to 4,000 people, All About Catering will take care of you. Customer service and satisfaction is the number one goal. So don't sweat your next big event. Just go to allaboutcateringllc.com today to see their menus and all their 5-star reviews. Give them a call, 586-731-1398, to get your event started. Yeah. So, Blake,
yes,
I have to ask you a couple questions before we get out of here tonight.
Are these Michigan related questions or like
no, just the next couple nights, because we are going to reconvene next Saturday.
Definitely.
We'll do. Do you want to do just like the whole Saturday night thing again, like 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin. Great stuff, fellows. Maybe I'll see you at Waldo. Good spot. I'm not joking. Pretty cool spot.
I'm going to a game there this year for sure.
Yeah, that's you had mentioned that, right? Yeah. So I have to ask you about USC LSU tomorrow.
I'm taking LSU, or no, USC. Sorry, see, football brain. USC. I think as bad as USC's offense or defense was last year, I think LSU's defense might be worse this year.
Okay, and then Monday night,
Florida State to win and cover 16.5. I
love your little to win and cover. What time is that game next week? What time is Michigan in Texas?
Noon.
That's a noon game. All right.
That's the only ranked unranked game all of next week.
Okay.
It's not the best slate next week. So.
No. Yeah, that's a noon game. Yeah. Penn State at noon. Let me see. Is there anything interesting at night? So like we can come on at night, because I'm looking, and no, they're really
Bama, South Florida. Oh, Tennessee, NC State. That's actually decent.
Mm.
Oregon, Boise State, but that's a 10 o'clock kick.
Yeah. All right, maybe you know what? Western and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, and NC State. The NC State, Tennessee's. I think Tennessee's going to motorboat them. I do, but we'll see. I do.
Motorboat them?
Yeah.
Not boat race them?
No,
motorboat them?
Did you ever? Well, you didn't see Wedding Crashers. Every time
I've seen Wedding Crashers.
Oh, have you? You remember?
You motorboating some of it?
Yeah. Just get that chance.
By the way, you weren't watching the gambling show the other night, and I had a very inappropriate reference during that show that I know you would appreciate.
What was it?
I said Mercedes-Benz Stadium looks like a butthole.
Does.
It does.
Does. Oh my gosh.
So I just thought you'd appreciate that.
No, I do appreciate that. Yeah, great job, you guys, doing that. I caught some of it late as I was driving back from doing the doubleheader at the PKC.
How were those games? Good games?
All four of them were good games. Yeah, all four of them. De La Salle, Anthony Batante scored 3 touchdowns in the second half. They came away with a good win. You got to give them credit. Detroit King beat Cleveland Heights in that Michigan versus Ohio thing. Bryce Underwood did Bryce Underwood things and was just a stud. Give Clarkson a heck of a lot of credit. They just fought all game, but there's a reason why Bryce Underwood is arguably the best recruit in the nation. Like, seriously. And I don't think, Blake, I don't know if the average fan maybe even knows that. Like, you could make the argument that the number one recruit in the nation, who, by the way, is committed to LSU, plays for Belleville, and he's special. He's one of those guys. You remember how Randy Moss ran and it didn't look like he was running, but he was running past everybody? That's kind of like Bryce Underwood. When he takes off running, it doesn't look like he's moving, and then he's blowing past everybody. He just makes it look so damn easy. So, all right, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Appreciate you. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Blake, I think you and I are doing what, Tuesday night? Tuesday night, right?
Don't you do what nights are you with Shep?
Shep and I are doing Monday night.
Are you doing Monday night this week?
Yeah, I think so. Is that all right? I'll ask Shep. How about I ask Shep? Maybe
it's a national holiday. That's the only reason why I asked.
I have the big barbecue tomorrow, so I have 3 racks of ribs sitting in the fridge right now in my little marinade box. I do it overnight, and then I'm doing a whole bunch of smash burgers.
Nice.
Whole bunch of smash. Bill said you guys need to post this schedule, please. We'll be doing this every Saturday. Count on that during college football. Monday is me and Shep. Tuesday is me and Blake. Wednesday's the hockey show. Thursday morning is me and Shep. And I'm not sure if we're going to do that again this week. I'll let you guys know. And then I can't do Friday. Friday's the gambling show.
Friday is the gambling show every week.
I have football. I have football Thursday night this week. Wayne State opener against Tiffin. And then Friday night I have
so off the air is basically Tuesday, Saturday through football season.
Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah, no, that I'm just updating everyone.
Yeah.
I'm putting in a cleaner slate than you did.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Saturday off the air. Monday, Thursday, Shep and Sean. Wednesday, hockey show. And Friday, gambling show.
I think the only Saturday that I'm screwed right now is, what would that be? October 6th. Because I'll be at Northern. Unless I have to do a hockey game. Which you never know. So, all right. Why are we talking to ourselves? See you guys. God bless you. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. See you. Bye.
Off the Air with Sean Baligian, featuring Sean Baligian and Blake Majchrzak. Produced by Todd Losey and Blake Majchrzak. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Play It Loud by Jam Studio. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the unsyndicated podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Off the Air with Sean Baligian on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Got something to say to Sean? Call the unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.